looking. He's going to heave one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won.
Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. I'm in the studio with my main man, Steven Chad. Ladies and gentlemen,
My man.
I'm ready to put back on the suit. That's what I'm saying. I'm ready to get the blood pumping again. Get the piss missiles flowing, boys and girls.
Are we still piss missiles out here, boys? Are we still piss missiles out here?
We gotta be. We gotta commit today. So I think the piss missiles are back in its own little glory, right? Which that's what's kind of kept us through the off season, and now we're keeping the engine rolling. So I love it. Ladies and gents, we got a great show today. We got a commit that just happened about 10 minutes before the show. You can't. I mean, sometimes better be lucky than good, as Florida was last night a little bit at the end there. Then we're gonna go over Florida USF. I had a little bit of a post game reaction last night, which typically is that raw, uncut, just right off the rip, right off the oven reaction. Then we're going to do our buy, sell, hold, this little trend we've been doing. We started last Sunday where we're buying, selling, or holding on certain teams, possibly players. And then we're going to do NFL pick'ems. We did okay last week. Week one's always a crapshoot. You don't know what to expect going into week one. So our pick'ems guy, our guru, feels better about these picks. So we're gonna dive into that, but first things first is the commits, which is Chauncey Bowens, 3 to 4 star running back, 2024 commit. Exciting stuff there. Perfect timing. If I got to be honest, I think it was a good. It's right now things are a little negative. Billy's getting a little bit of heat from I would say 50% of Gator Nation, and people will throw this out there. It's a little distraction. Like, hey, we're still working on when we're not working, right? For us to land a commit after that shows like, look, I'm still trusting the process. And we're going to get into the Florida USF game and why I think the recruiting is not going to be as affected as much as people are thinking that it's going to be affected simply due to the lack of, how it was won. But before we get into Chauncey, let's say hey to the chat. Let's see how you guys are doing. I'm over these 7:30 games. Got to be honest. Can't wait for 3:30 next week. I am beyond excited for 3:30. Brand new subscriber, welcome to the family. Alex, what's going on, man? Normal guy. Poopy, how we doing? J Money.
Poopy.
CC, what's up, baby? How you doing, Kaylin? Adrian, Chris Soiley. I was fired the fuck up. Then I remember we were rebuilding. Ricky, what's up? Piss missiles, eh? Johnny, hope Jack Milther is feeling healthy. Little King Chris, what's up, boys? What's up, man? Justin Williams, how you doing, big dog? High Top fam, what's going on? Yes, sir. Alex Compton. Aaron Horn, is he a 2023 or 2024? He is 2024. Iceman 333. What is going on, big dog? Papa Stokes, go Gators. Let's get it. 2-1, baby.
There he is.
Let's see here. Who else we got? Jordan, what's going on, Dargan? What's going on, man? All right, boys and girls, welcome to the shade. What's up, mama?
Hey,
welcome to the show. So, yeah, the biggest thing we've got going on right now is the commit. Again, Chauncey Bowens, 4-star composite on the 247 rating, 3-star on just your typical rating. 27th running back, 61st in Florida. He's from North Palm Beach, Florida. He's got offers from Auburn, Coastal Carolina, and Colorado. So not a bunch of huge commits, Florida schools. But, look, great to get that class started early. As we can see, it's good to have depth that we've been shown over the last few nights. We all know who the boy's going to be for the next few years. I think we saw last night that Etienne's going to be eaten for the next few years.
He looked good. Obviously looking for a bright spot and an otherwise underwhelming performance on the offense, but he was certainly a bright spot for you guys.
Yeah, him, Montreal, and the O-line, which, look, I think this is going to help us get some of these running back studs. They see a young running back coming in and being successful early. That's going to start transitioning to some 5-star guys. If they say, look, the O-line's got 2 O-line coaches, those guys are dialed in. The O-line's young, too. Like, there's 2 on the right. Yep. I believe it was a right guard or freshmen. Torrance is obviously a big factor into that, so hopefully we can, Billy's working on that replacement coming in the coming seasons. But I like where this is headed. Getting a guy like Chauncey to be committed, that's going to bode well with. That's even further. I'm trying to think of Trayon. That's even further than that. So I forget how long away that is. But exciting nonetheless. It's good to get some news out there to kind of get the things rolling again. Again, I still know we still have a few that are going to be committing for 2023. That is, I'm probably waiting on the time and when and where we do that. So, exciting news on that front for sure. Good to have that after, not the most exciting win, but definitely a win last night. So let's get into that. Let's break down Florida versus USF. Let's talk about it, Steve. I'll let you go first. I kind of had my rant last night for about 20 minutes or so. I haven't spoke to you about it too much. We kind of let this go raw dog here. But let me hear from you. What was your take? What was your thoughts on last night?
Look, it still looks like there's not enough plays being called that are specifically designed for Anthony to use his athletic ability. It feels like he's still very reluctant to make quick decisions. But look, when this is one thing that you and I were chatting about prior to hopping on here, wins are not easy, guys. Wins are not given. USF played a hell of a ball game last night in a game that not a lot of people even expected them to keep it competitive. And certainly towards the end of the game, when USF started to feel like they had a shot to pull this thing off. Now they start to play with that little bit of swagger, that confidence. It's not easy to pull that away. Now, granted, you got a couple of lucky breaks with the snaps, but you still have to go out and win that game. You still have to go out there and make the plays, and your defense still has to make a stop. So when wins aren't easy, guys, they're not given. You got to earn them. You still did that. Are there some takeaways that you could point to that need to be worked on? Absolutely. You should be doing that in any game, regardless of a win or a loss. But it's still a win, and every one of those counts. In 3 weeks, are we looking back at USF? No, you're just looking to see if you got a W there or not. That's all that matters. Build off of it.
Yeah, so and look, I that video last night got 100 of comments, and the range of comments was insane. I like to usually respond to them. I was like, "There's no way. I'm overwhelmed here. This has never happened before."
They were flowing. They were flowing.
But the range of like, who cares? Let's move forward. To we suck. We need to move on. Fire Billy. Like it's just like that. We're like, whoa. Like what? How do we have these two wild sides, right? And I get it as a fan. It's very easy to say we suck. We shouldn't lose to USF that bad, or not lose. It shouldn't be that close. It should have been a blowout, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You have to keep in mind these teams like a USF have certain teams that they circle on their calendar, right? Where they're going to come in and say, we're going to do our best. Hey, we're coming into a new coach, new quarterback. This is our opportunity to win here. They have a transfer quarterback, so it's like they have a pretty experienced quarterback, which he showed last night. I can't think of his name right now, from USF. And look, I'm not making excuses. I understand where you guys are coming from. It's like, look, no, like we expect greatness. We're Florida. We expect to be the best. I hear you. Like I'm not disagreeing with you whatsoever. It was frustrating to watch. I was hoping for a blowout to kind of get some reinsurance that look, the offense is dialed in. We're ready to rock and roll. Billy said it last night in the press conference. On the offensive side and defensive side, they were calling some great schemes. They had great play calling on the USF side. I said it last night in the stream too. They were doing what Florida should be doing, the read option, right? They had a great quarterback that can run, and they had a running back that could run really well. So defensively, everyone, there's no consensus here. You've got one people saying the defense sucked. You got another people saying the defense sucked. You got one people saying Brenton Cox sucked. You've got experts saying Brenton Cox looked great. I think it was in the middle. I think what Billy said is like, look, we're still growing. It's week by week. It's day by day. And they asked him last night, it's like, how do you feel basically barely beating USF? And Billy's like, you're discrediting USF like they're just like basically a nobody. He's like, I don't agree with your comment. And I get that. Like, look, they're a football team. Those guys are there to play. Now, should we have maybe pulled away a little bit to where what shouldn't have been as close? Yeah, 100%. There's times where we probably could have, stepped on their throats and pulled away, and we didn't. We allowed them to stay in it. And like you said, after you get to a certain point, when they're in it for too long, right, and they're able to stay in it, like you said, that sandlot mindset comes into play. For that last quarter, it's just who's going to have that dog in them. And them making those botch errors, those fumbles, or the botch snaps at the end there, that's where that you can see the difference. But when the adrenaline's pumping, the same reason why we did well against Utah, adrenaline's a hell of a drug. When you come in and everyone knows they can play football, they can play the game. So when you feel that you're in and you keep yourself in it, as long as you kind of just play it quarter by quarter, I think as Florida, I've been saying this since the beginning. I'm going to continue to say this. These 3 games are a hell of a gauntlet because you have all types of emotions. You had the underdog emotion from week 1 where you have to be that dog. The adrenaline's got to be riding. Week 2, you go in being the dog, being like, yo, we're Florida again. We're back. Well, no, you're still freshmen and sophomores with a brand new coach. Like, it's not that same Florida team. It's not. You can't think that you are. Have some humble pie. Kentucky delivered it to us. Then you go into USF like, we should steamroll these guys. Well, first 15 minutes go by, you get your teeth knocked in. You're like, whoa, what the hell? Like, for us to think that that's not going to happen, I mean, look at Arkansas. Almost lost to Missouri State yesterday. Marshall beats Notre Dame. App State beat Texas A&M. These teams can come in and hang with those guys in the first and second quarter. It happens all the time. And then what happens in the second half is those teams typically pull away, right? That's where the depth comes into play. But if you leave them in long enough, they will last because the adrenaline comes in. They will blow every last load they have to be into that game. That's football. That's why we watch the games. That's why the games are on the schedule. Okay? That's part of it. If you guys think that's bad, but App State beating Texas A&M, who is an established coach, who is an established team, coming off the #1 recruiting class in the country, like, if that can happen and you guys are like shocked that this USF situation happened, then you don't watch football. You have to like reset your expectations for a bit. It is not 2008 anymore. I keep saying that, and it's frustrating. We have to keep saying that. Like, we're getting pissed off. Like, what, you want to fire Billy? You guys are done? We're gonna move on already? Like, I'm concerned about your personal relationships. Like, where the hell is the commitment? Like, there is no, like, I mean, seriously, like, this is how wishy-washy we are. When shit gets a little dicey, gets a little tough, you guys just back out. And you guys hear it all the time. Like, this is kind of what the issue with this generation is. You know, we don't have that grit. We're not used to getting our teeth kicked in and having to pull ourselves out of it. It's typically just soft and cushy and winning. That's not how the world works, ladies and gentlemen. 90% of the time, you're getting the shit beat out of you. And then those 10% times when you're able to pull yourself out and get the W, that's what makes it all worth it. Because for 90% of it, you were getting the shit beat out of you. And then you finally pulled out a W, and now it feels good.
Now you want, but now you're looking at like a gift horse in the mouth. Like, you pulled that game out. Well done. Well done. That's a game that a young team, especially with a young coach, could have lost. That's a game that you guys could have lost.
Absolutely.
If everybody doesn't stay dialed in, you know.
I couldn't agree more. And something too that we think of, like we all want to be like Tom and Nick. Okay. And I was talking with the fam yesterday. What people don't realize is to be a Tom Brady or Nick Saban, you have to be a psychopath. Okay. And what I mean by that is, look at Tom. Tom was a loser forever. Loser. Okay. That guy has sacrificed all personal life to be where he's at now. He is literally losing his family because the guy is addicted to playing this game. And so we don't look at it like a drug addiction or like for Tiger, like a sex addiction because it's not this, the same vice, but he is addicted. You have to see it. At this point, it's like, what more could you possibly do? You are considered the GOAT. Nobody's catching you. And I love the guy. I love watching him, but your marriage is on the ropes because of this. Nick Saban was dog water for a long time. Failed for a while. Bill Belichick failed. It takes time. Okay? That's the process of it. But there is, again, my point of being a psychopath is like, these guys are crazy. I mean, look at Bill. Like, nobody wants to hang out with Bill. Like, you're not, you know what I mean? Like, that guy's a miserable prick, but he wins football games. So we love him on Sunday, and that's it. I like him for 4 hours. That's about it. Nick Saban, guy looks like a douche. I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't know if I want to get a beer with the guy. I mean, he's probably a good dude. I'm sure he's chill, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's got like a weird sex chamber in his house. Like, the guy's probably a little weird. I think there's a line of like, when you're that successful, there's a sense of, where you're a little bit of psychotic to be there. So it's that mentality that you have to get, but it takes time to get there. And I think if we think that we're going to,
let's not forget that Bill Belichick coached at the Browns and was awful, or that Nick Saban went to the Dolphins, was awful. These guys it's not always, just rainbows, puppy dogs, and perfection. you got to let the process play itself out. The experience for a coach like Billy matters. He needs that experience. He's going to need time to get that experience. Your quarterback does not have more than 3 football games in this offense. It's going to take a little while. So I think it's more of a situation where you're going into the Tennessee game. You are 2-1, and you look like you can hang with Tennessee next week. It'll be an away game. So
we beat Tennessee. None of this matters. Nobody's going to remember this week.
Nope.
So let's leave it at that. Something that I keep thinking of, that I keep going back to, where I feel with this situation, is Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy coached in Tampa before he went to Indianapolis and won a Super Bowl. I don't know if you know this. In Tampa, he had 2 losing seasons because he was trying to implement a process where it was basically like, we're going to win as a team, not as an individual. He had this entire plan, but it takes time for people to be bought in. This is what I'm getting the feel on from Billy's and I'm gonna this is long curve here, so sit tight, because they talked about this and I see people saying, actually, like, why are we giving Anthony this much responsibility to make these play calls at the line? Tony Dungy had this process. Tampa didn't believe him, didn't give him enough time. He goes to Indy. They buy all in. They go all in on him. What does he do? What does he do, Steve? Can you tell us the end of the story? He wins the Super Bowl. And
wins the Super Bowl.
And they're competitive for a long time. He has a hell of a career. Tony Dungy is considered one of the greats of all time as a coach. I'm pretty sure he's a Hall of Fame now as a coach, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So because they allowed for his process to develop. I see a lot of critique coming from Billy, or for Billy, why is Anthony getting so much responsibility on the line? Well, one of his calls, he made the adjustment to give it to Montreal to score the touchdown. The other time he called it to throw the fade pass where the interception happened in the end zone, right? He made that call. That was Anthony making the last second call, like, hey, the matchup looks good. Right play call, right zone, bad throw. Even Billy said that. I said that last night. Why that's important. This is where people don't understand where leadership comes into play. We can all be a coach, and we can all say, you should have done this and you should have done that. The armchair quarterback, right? After the fact, you should have done this. Yeah, absolutely. Here's where people don't understand why leaderships have that psychotic mindset, because first of all, you have to deal with all the flack, right? You got to go, after you make those decisions, go and basically report to us, peasants who think we know it all and are going to just tell you how we feel and say, hey, you're an idiot. Okay, that's number one. Number two is, if you think by being a leader is just micromanaging the situation and saying, I'm going to take control and do everything and you're going to listen to me, you're wrong. That's going to be a vacuum of success very short term. If you want long-term success, your guys have to buy into you. And if they buy into you, that means by you making them a leader as well on the field. When you've got a bunch of leaders that can manage their own situation, then you have a nice sync. Right? Everyone's flowing. The whole thing is in one cohesive motion. So, but there's growing pains with that, because now you're trying to develop multiple leaders. AR has to become a leader, has to learn with his decisions and know how to make it and when to make it. But if you got Billy just doing that and you got a guy just kind of just plug and play, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for a long time. And as a player, you can, that's how you can recruit. It's like, I don't want to be just a plug and play, because when I go to the NFL, I'm going to get eaten up because I don't have any leadership skills. I know how to do what I'm told what to do. Hey, go here, you go do that. Okay, fantastic. But you're not going to, the window of growth is this small when you do that. If you allow for someone to think for themselves, the window gets to this big, because now they're able to think on their feet, and now you have another leader that's on the field. So, kind of went a little bit of a tangent there, but I wanted to go real quick. Cam Bishop, we got some love from Cam, little $10 super chat. Thank you, Cam. Says, Florida definitely was trash without Miller. AR looks like he was in high school. USF played a good game, but still should have never been that close, especially at home. Still screaming FFSU 3-0. Go Gators.
Yeah, they're playing some football out in Tallahassee, it looks like, as well. So that'll make this season a little bit more interesting, I think, for everybody involved. Having the Florida teams competitive always just makes the season more enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think, look, FSU doing well, it's fun. It's fun for the sport. Money says something here. I want to go on this too. It says, Montreal said after the game the locker room was quiet and said it felt like a loss, a lot of depression. I think they all know they can't count on AR. So here's two things to that. I haven't heard that, but that's interesting. And I also saw Lingard get into it with the running back coach yesterday. There was that video that surfaced. I saw Lorenzo commented back towards it on a Twitter thread and said, "Yeah, look, it's all love. We hugged it out afterwards. It's competition. That's part of it. And look, these guys want to win. They want to be dominant. They want to be competitive. So I think it's okay to have kind of be a little frustrated with how the game went yesterday. You want to win, but you won. So look, this is what's going to happen. It's like you could start to lose the buy-in very quickly, and that's how I feel like we could be heading with what's going on. But look, Connor said too, could be 0-3. 100%. Look, we're 2 plays away from being 0-3, and we're 2-1. So because I was looking too, somebody said, would we want McElwain's first season and Mullen's first season? And I went back and looked at their first season. We went 10-4 with McElwain, and I think 10-4 with Mullen, or maybe a little bit better, maybe 11-3 with Mullen because we went to a bowl game,
right.
New Year's Six bowl game. But if you can look at that game, both teams, both times when McElwain's first game, the first 3 games, it was like Eastern Carolina, Coastal Carolina, and somebody else. Then it was Kentucky, and Kentucky was not where Kentucky is. It was Tennessee. Tennessee was nobody. We played Mizzou that year. I want to say we lost to Mizzou, lost to LSU, crushed Georgia, which Georgia obviously we know wasn't anybody then, right? So the SEC East was at its like all-time low at these times. Like the SEC East is at the strongest I think it's been in a while on just the talent being. The SEC is, we've always said, hey, the SEC is like the best. The SEC is really, really good this year. More than what has been in the past. I mean, Ole Miss is good. LSU's making a little bit of tear with big upset against, in my opinion, against Mississippi State. Obviously, Georgia, Bama. Ole Miss looks good. They're in the top 12, top 15. Then you got Kentucky, who's in the top 9. Tennessee, who's in the top 15. Florida, they're figuring it out. Vandy's got a few W's. But Texas A&M is still in the top 25. So there's a lot of good teams in the SEC. And look, that's going to be tough too, especially when you're new, to come into and try to beat those guys, especially when your brand's making new. And Mullen lost to Kentucky from what I remember, to Kentucky his first year. So
I believe so. Yep.
Because
look, saying, I mean, you're seeing it with Brian Kelly. Welcome to the SEC. LSU goes out there and obviously loses to Florida State, but then they struggle against Southern the next week, and then they turn around and they put together a good game against Mississippi State last night. They looked good overall. LSU actually looked like the better football team when it was easily a situation where they could have melted. So LSU is another example of that. It's just there's time that it's gonna take to get where they want to be.
Yeah, and we keep preaching that on the time. You guys, I see a few people asking who the commit did is. It's 3/4-star running back commit Chauncey Bowens from 2024 class. So good one there. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. I wonder if the team thought they were just going to roll them and didn't come out with energy, and that's the case with the problem with coaching. Look, and that's what I said, right? That's that gauntlet where you're going to come out thinking, expecting that we're going to just roll these guys because we're the University of Florida. Well, yeah, but you're also been playing football at University of Florida for 2 years. There's a brand new coach. Look, there's a part of, I think, too, and I was talking to Papa Stokes this morning about this actually a little bit. He called me, and Mullen left. Mullen got fired last year. It's kind of like the Scott Frost situation. I think they see the writing on the wall. They realize, like, hey, I recruited like ass, and I can't. It's only going to get worse from here. So I'm going to just basically just not really care, and we'll figure it out, and I'm going to get out of this. Right, because Mullen would have came into this, it probably would have been a lot worse. It'd be 0-3 in my opinion, really would without the recruiting hype. Could you imagine that 0-3 without the recruiting hype? You want to talk about a dumpster fire, right? Like if anybody expected things to just automatically like, a new coach comes in, he's gonna put a Band-Aid on it and fix everything. Well, no, the reason why Mullen's gone is because of the lack of recruiting. Well, there's been no pipeline filling in the talent. So what did you expect? You know what I mean? Like, we've got to work with what we got. Look, this isn't a knock on these guys by any stretch. I'm not trying to hate on the team, but that's definitely a factor. Tim says I don't like his play calling. That's been definitely a thing. So this is where my critique's gonna come in really quick. So I feel like we have a team built like a typical Bama team, where We have a great running back core. The O-line is phenomenal, okay? The wide receiver core probably isn't like your typical Bama because there's usually a stud in there like an Amari Cooper, right? Devontae Smith, like a one random athlete that's in there that can just catch a random ball when they need you most. But the quarterback situation has always been kind of just it's a filler. I need a guy that doesn't have an ego, that comes in, just kind of fills the role, but he's also always adapted to who the quarterback was. So you've had Mac Jones, who kind of took up a little bit. Tua, who he realized wasn't what he was hoping he would be, so he toned it down a little bit, ran the ball more, right? They've always had stud running backs, a running back room to fall back on, and then the quarterback has been allowed to grow and develop as time has went on, right? Versus, here's our quarterback, we're all in because he's supposed to be good, and we're going to make this work even though we have strong points in O-line and running back. No. The running back room controls it. And then what would Mac do and Greg McElroy and all those guys do? Little rollout dump passes, easy flats, easy tight end dumps, and just get 2 or 5 yards. Just carve them up. Will they throw a bomb every now and then? Sure. Well, when you carve, you're going to catch the defense lacking, and you could get a bomb down the field, 100%. And guess what that does? You've just made that quarterback think that they can't miss a throw anymore. But when you have him come out thinking he's, well, you always say Peyton Manning, where he's going to control the offense, right? And he's Tom Brady. He's going to just, I'm going to throw here and throw here. I'm going to do what I want. You're not there yet. You can't do that. And that's where I'm frustrated with the play calling. Now, I saw a comment. I said it last night. Maybe there's a point to it. Maybe it's like, look, if we're going to do it, if we're going to figure it out, we're going to test it, this is the game we test it, right? The first two, Kentucky and USF, we're going to give it a shot. Kentucky, or the Utah game, he didn't do that. He controlled it, just like I said, and he allowed for AR to kind of make plays when he needed him to, and it worked. And the confidence was through the roof, right? Because we talked about he didn't have 200 yards. And we're like, well, he's got to throw for 300 if he's got to be a Heisman winner. So maybe that's part of what happened too. But I think part of it is, look, you have a great running back. You can't just run. Everyone keeps saying run. Like it'll get blocked eventually, but you can get more creative with the run. You can use more read options, right? And then just have a little curl routes. Throw to Zipper. Throw to Xanders, right? Just dump two 5-yard passes. You don't need 25 yards every time. Just have Ricky come do a slant route. Boom, dump it off. Let him do some magic. You know what I mean?
Yak.
Yeah, exactly. Some yak. Let these guys kind of get creative. I think that's something that's being overlooked. What do you think, Steve? So I'm going on a ramble, but I'm sorry.
No. So the one thing I will say is that it doesn't look like Richardson's really mastered the game management side of things as well. I think as some people were hoping that he would do coming in. He is making some risky throws, and it does seem like just the short confidence building style throws aren't really there. It's the play calling seems it's like a complex route tree and 5 wide receiver sets that's causing him to have to sit and read the field when he should be 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, give the guy the time that he needs, and if he can make a play with his legs, make a play with his legs. Not to mention that you've got 3 really good running backs back there that have been playing good football. I think that'll just take off a little bit of the burden that Richardson looks like he's playing with right now. He looks like he's having to think about it all. And there's ways to get around that. It just doesn't look like the play calling has been suited to getting him the confidence that he needs and giving him the easier high percentage throws that'll show him, hey, I just completed 7 passes in a row. Now, granted, it may only be for 50 yards, but you're getting the ball in the hand of your playmakers and not having to put it all on you. And I think the faster that they can get him into a position where he's confident getting the ball out of his hand and into your running backs, to your tight ends on those little flare routes, the more confidence he'll play with throughout the game. Now, when he's throwing 2 picks, and it's not even the third quarter, or you're down in the end zone or the red zone, and you're making these play calls, you're not throwing the ball with the same confidence that you need, and that's kind of what we saw last night.
No, absolutely. That's a spot on there. And we got a super chat real quick from Cam Bishop. I think we will drop out of the top 25 with that performance. Probably. I don't really care. And not like I don't care where we drop. It's like, look, we got to win some football games, right? None of this matters. It's so soon. It's so early. We get very caught up on it. It's fun. It's fun to get caught up, but I think we probably will. And by the way, Steve, y'all's backup quarterback looks real good. for some of those.
After the first throw of the game, yeah. The first throw of the game was a wet noodle that just came flopping out of there right into the hands of Louisville. My gosh.
That's brutal.
But we did, for some odd reason, finally decide to throw the ball to our 6'7" wide receiver that hasn't seen a lot of action. Just they want to man up a 6'7" receiver with no help over the top. Just keep throwing it to him.
So something I looked at too, I was going through and looking at it. We ran the ball 30 times. Compared to your Georgias and Bamas and those schools, those like the schools, they're running the ball 40 plus times. We should easily be above 45 times of running the ball. I looked at it, and Montreal had one big run, which was obviously going to affect the yards per carry. It was like 11 or 12. So I took away the one big run because I don't want to count that. And I want to say Montreal averaged 8 yards a carry, and ETN averaged 7, and Naquan averaged 6. I don't know if you guys can do math, but if you do two runs at 7 yards, that's 14 yards, which is a first down. Now, look, there were some big runs in there that obviously had to play, and that's why I think everyone's saying run the ball, because the O-line was there. And I hear you, but I think we look at this is where Billy is going to have to, where his reps are going to come in. Is he going to adjust this week? You've seen enough now. Now, do you pull the reins back a little bit on AR? Make some, like what you're saying, make some more play callings that allow for him to get comfortable, keep him more contained, and slowly get your confidence up versus trying to have him win the game and win his confidence in the first 2 possessions. It feels like they're coming out and it's like they're playing from behind from the rip. It's like, all right, we gotta move. I need a 25-yard pass, quick, boom. Utah, remember I was talking all this smack like he's gonna come out throw a zinger, and they came in and ran the ball 7 times in a row before Montreal fumbled it. They weren't even throwing the ball, and they were cruising down the field, cruising. We got to run it more. And look, this is where Billy's going to start losing a little bit. It's like, look, we all see it. How do you not see it? We lost it with Damian, and we were frustrated with that. We had talent there. Utilize it. I don't know.
Yeah, to your point, the average rush for you guys yesterday, even with the long run by Montreal, but Trevor Etienne average rush 7 yards. Naquan Wright average rush 6.5 yards. Anthony Richardson's average pass was less than both of those.
Wow.
Like you never see that. Like it's rare that you have a quarterback with an average completion lower than your second and third producing tight end running backs. Like, if that doesn't tell you what you need to know about where he's at with his playing style, that I don't know what else you need to look at. Like, you're running the hell out of the ball. Keep running the hell out of the ball, not force him to play something that he's not ready for.
I think where we, as Florida fans, here's where we need to get excited. So we had the good, bad, and ugly on the thumbnail. This is where the good comes into play. The future looks bright. It does. On a talent-wise, I think the quarterback room is healthy. I think Jack Miller, I've been sold on Jack since the beginning. We've got Marcus coming in next year. Kitten is good. Again, it's all noise, right? But this is the positive that we've been hearing. The O-line, the 2 O-line head coaches, that's working really well. The D-line, Desmond Watson's, Billy was praising him a lot last night. Young D-line did well, handled it well. Ventrell, you got Ventrell, who obviously didn't play. He's a 5-6 year guy. He didn't play last night, so he'll lose a big senior there. The other guy is Amari Burney, who, I mean, he's been there for 5 years. He's not the most solid guy, but he had some big plays. But James looked good, right? Scooby looked good. Scooby Williams looked good. So those are all young guys. I mean, that's a year or two out from, hey, those guys are going to be more developed, be experienced, not just coming in as a junior trying to figure it out, like dialed in guys. So that's really, really good. We as Florida fans have to be excited for that. Look at Georgia, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? That is a powerhouse. Look at South Carolina. I mean, you get a transfer in Spencer Rattler, who was the best thing since sliced bread coming out of high school. The guy had a Netflix show. Okay, goes to Oklahoma, falls flat on his face, loses his job to Caleb Williams, comes to South Carolina thinking he's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread again, and gets absolutely railroaded by Georgia. Now, I'm not saying that that could happen to us too. Let's not get it twisted, but we always think that it's greener on the other side. Like, well, let's just kind of take perspective here of the situation. It's Georgia's world. We're all just living in it right now. And how did Georgia get here? Because what I just tell you, Mullen's first year, which was 2018, we railroaded them with Trayon Harris 21-3. Will Grier and Trayon Harris were our quarterbacks during those years in Mullen's first year. And we beat Georgia 21-3. Now look where Georgia's at.
Dogs.
Dogs. Okay? So it takes time. If you had a crystal ball, and you could see in 3 years that we would be what Georgia is right now, would you take 2-3 losing seasons? That's my question for you guys. That's where we're going to leave it for Florida fans. If you can be at where Georgia is right now, how they were for the last 2 years, knowing that for the next 2, you're going to be the most embarrassing football team in the NCAA, would you take it? Let me know. Leave it. What's up?
We have a comment section for that. Go ahead and drop them in there.
That's a little bit of juice right there for you, boys.
I like it. Look at that.
Oh, the comments are flowing. $1 million bet. What happened? What's up with that, Jonathan Myers? $1 million bet yesterday.
What am I hearing with Urban Meyer talking about potentially taking the Nebraska job?
Yeah.
Seems like an odd fit.
I saw that. BB, what's going on, man? Jackie Chin. No way Florida beats Tennessee and Knoxville if the Gators play like they did in the past 2 weeks. That's where we're going to play better than we did in the last 2 weeks. Let's see. Tennessee has no defense. That is true. Maybe, look, we just got to run the ball.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Pearsall to answer your question.
College game days in Knoxville on Saturday. Is that true? Fucking A? Is that true? Can we get a fact check on that one? We all miss Trask.
Let's take a peek see here at that.
You guys are all over the comments here. David Wilson, UF needs to go all in on them, on then some on DJ Lagway. I agree with that. DJ's going to be the man. Guy's an absolute stud. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do our buy, sell, hold, and then we're going to get into the NFL pick'ems before we hit 1 o'clock here, before the day gets some moving. Steve, let's do our buy, sell, hold. For those of you that are brand new here, make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn the bell on because we go live every Wednesday and Sunday. Talk about sports, have a good time here. But we're going to do our buy, sell, hold. It's basically like a stock options, okay? Just like a stock. Do you buy? Is it hot? Is it time to buy? Is it time to sell? Or is it time to hold? Steve, what do we got?
Let's make our way back to the Bayou. Let's talk LSU. They had a decent game bouncing back from a turbulent start. Played well against Mississippi State. I think for right now, with where LSU is with their ranking and just where they looked to be coming out of the FSU game, I'm going to go ahead and buy LSU right now. I think they've got a chance to start putting some wins, stacking them on top of one another. The quarterback looks like he was actually playing a pretty smooth game last night. So I think right now, LSU unranked, I'm buying while they're low.
Okay. I like it. I'm going to hold. Only reason I'm going to hold is they lost to a rough LSU game. And look, maybe the buy, it's a buy for FSU. So I'm going to get into that. They had an easy second game, and Mississippi State wasn't even ranked. Look, I was high on Mississippi State, but Mississippi State's Mississippi State. So LSU hasn't had much of a gauntlet yet, in my opinion. So I'm going to hold. I'm not fully sold on them yet. I'm going to hold.
Sure. All right. Well, let's stay over in SEC country here. Let's go to Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you take that one after a little bit of an odd showing yesterday, but where are you at with that one, Joe?
I'm still buying. I'm still buying on Arkansas. I think those are one of those games where, look, that's going to happen. Like I said, those teams come in excited to play in Arkansas, especially a top 10 team, and they're going to play high and mighty. And for Arkansas to be able to kind of lock it down and pull away in the fourth quarter shows like, look, we can still, when we're ready to turn it on, we can turn it on. That's what that proved to me. So I'm buying on Arkansas still.
I'm going to hold on Arkansas right now. They are already ranked 10th. Their game yesterday was a little sloppy, but they definitely have talent. I just don't know if they've got – they don't have a traditional history of playing well year after year or game after game. They look good this year, but this isn't a team that's had, a historical high level of success. They're already ranked 10th. Yesterday's game was a little choppy. I'm going to say I'm going to hold on them, and let's see how they handle success throughout the season. We'll definitely come back to them. They're an exciting team to watch right now.
Ooh, we got people selling on Arkansas.
Ooh, I can see that though.
Yeah. I did mess up. I think somebody called me out. Is Trayon had McElwain, Felipe was McMullen, and that was my bad. Either way, I mean, my point still stands. Felipe or Trayon, whoever was a quarterback, doesn't matter. You guys get the point. Let me see here. I don't see anything else. All right, what else we got, Steve? Who else we buying and selling
on? Let's go FSU. FSU has had an interesting start to their year. Obviously came away a little bit dinged up yet after the Friday night game with Louisville. No real answer yet on if Jordan Travis is going to make it back. However, we're lining up against Boston College, so you may not have to play that game in order for us to win. We are unranked right now, which could change when the rankings come out. But as of now, they're 3-0. They're playing good football. They're playing good defense. And with the schedule coming up, I want to say it's Boston College and then Wake Forest. I'm gonna buy FSU right now because I do believe that they're playing consistent football. It doesn't look like they're struggling. They look like they know what they're doing for the first time in a while. I'm gonna buy.
I'm gonna hold. This isn't me being negative. I want to buy, but the gauntlet's coming up. I think they should be fine with Boston College, and then the FSU noise is going to get even louder. But then they've got Wake Forest, Clemson, Miami, right?
Yep.
Georgia Tech's kind of mixed in there. So I got to see how they do against Wake Forest. Look, I've been impressed. They've won games when they probably shouldn't have, and they pulled it out in bad times. So that, to me, wants me to buy. But you haven't really played anybody for me to fully believe yet, Steve.
Completely understand. So we're holding. You're holding on FSU right now.
I'm holding. Yeah, I'm gonna hold.
All right. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's go out West Coast. We're gonna do a little buy, sell, hold on the Oregon Ducks. What you got?
That's a tough one. I was all in on them with Bo Nix, and then they disappointed me with Georgia. But getting the big win against BYU, that's huge. I gotta hold. It sounds boring, and it is, but it's just look. I thought BYU was going to be a shoo-in. I really thought they were going to steamroll these guys on how they did against Baylor. I don't think Oregon. I mean, how Oregon looked against Georgia, but that's the crazy thing about college football. It's week to week, and the amount of change that can happen in 7 days is wild. But I'm going to hold for now. It just there's not. It's a vital stock, and I don't want to touch it yet.
Sounds good. I am going to touch it. I am going to buy on the Oregon Ducks. I was a little skeptical after the first game, that blowout by Georgia, but I think that was more a testament to how good Georgia is, more so than how potentially mediocre Oregon was. They did turn around. They came right back after that Georgia loss, and they ran it up 70-14 against Eastern Washington. Not a powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination, but then they looked really damn good against a very good BYU team. Now the schedule coming up, they have Washington State unranked, Stanford unranked, Arizona unranked, UCLA. So the next 4 games are they're the better team on the field. So I'm going to go ahead and buy now while they're at 25. I think after those 4 games, provided they don't trip up on a team they should beat, they're looking at being probably back close to the top 10, maybe top 15.
Steve's dialed in this morning, guys. I don't know if you guys can tell, but Steve's locked and loaded right now. He's got the jitters going.
Baby, let's go.
He's flowing right now. It's I love it. I love the energy. All right, boys, that's another segment of buy, sell, and hold. We're gonna go into our pick'ems now for the NFL. Last week, week 1, we finished out 9-7, and so now we are going to roll into this. Hey, if you guys are like to gamble and like to get your betting on, you guys can go to my bookie. And if you're your first time sign up, use the code HIGHTOP and you get double your deposit. So if you put in $250, you use the code HIGHTOP. That $250 turns into $500. You get an additional $250 to play around with, mess around with. So go check that out. Helps us out a lot. And look, if you're already gambling, why not get some extra dough to throw around.
Exactly.
So we love it. We're excited about that. We got some good picks this week. I'm going to use our guy, our what do we call him? The Undertaker. That was our nickname for him.
I believe so.
So I'm gonna say what he has, and then Steve, you can agree or disagree. Okay.
Go.
So we have the Commanders plus 1.5. So they're getting a point and a half. He's taking the Commanders. Point and a half.
I'm taking the Redskins.
Okay. Who are they playing? Can you pull the schedule up?
Yeah, let me grab that.
I like that. Point and a half.
Yep, agree.
Mr. Nobody,
All
the live call, we're gonna do that next Saturday. I was busy this weekend. Next Saturday for the Tennessee, we're gonna probably do like a 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock show where the fans call in live on Saturday. So this Saturday was a little bit of a crapshoot, but 100% next Saturday. We got the Saints plus 2. They're getting 2 points, 2.5. Who are they playing? The Saints? Can you tell me?
The Buccaneers in Louisiana.
Ooh,
Saucy.
I like that. A lot of turmoil going on with old Tommy boy. 2.5 given to the Saints. So I like that as well. You sticking that to that as well too?
I'm going to stick with that. Winston looks like he's actually playing with a head on his shoulders as opposed to up his ass. So 269 yards throwing last week, 2 touchdowns, relatively efficient. I'm gonna stick with the Saints.
Okay, Sports Gaming Channel just subscribed. Welcome, Sports Gaming. Thank you for subscribing.
What's up?
Bucks and Saints under 45.5. He's taking the under on that. So
I'm taking the under. Yep.
Okay, just gonna copy him. Got it. Okay, Panthers are getting 2.5 points. Who are you going with?
I still don't trust Baker. It's the Panthers and the Giants in New Jersey.
Wow, and the Giants are favored by 2.5. So Panthers get 2.5. He's taking the Panthers.
I still don't trust Baker Mayfield, and I like Saquon Barkley. I'm going to go with the Giants.
Okay, all right. Patriots -2. So the Steelers are getting 2 points. Patriots -2. He's taking the Patriots -2.
I'm going with that. I don't like the Steelers' offense at all right now.
I like it. Patriots Steelers under 40.5. I like it that as well too. I'm feeling that. Jags plus 3.5. I love this all day long. Who are they playing?
The Colts.
Yeah, I like that.
Here in lovely Jacksonville, Florida, TIAA.
I like that. I think the Jags should be 1-0, but I like that. I like that pick a lot. Colts Jags over 45.5. That one's an interesting one, but I like that one as well too. So, guys,
you gonna take the over on that?
Yeah. You taking the under?
I'll go under on that just because I don't trust the Jaguars' offense. I think the Colts can score. I just don't know if the Jags can consistently. So I'm going to take the under on that.
Okay. Dolphins +3. So the Dolphins are getting 3.5. He's taking the Dolphins. I think it's a phenomenal pick.
I'm going to stick with that. I like that. If the game's in Baltimore, but I think the Dolphins are looking like a much better team with Tyreek Hill out there.
Rams -10. Wow. This one I get it. Rams are coming off an ugly loss in week 1. Falcons are, to me, I'm not bought in on Mariota, so I get the play. Falcons defense is pretty solid, but look, I trust our boy Undertaker. So look, if you're getting a 67% success rate on these picks, then you're balling. So we'll take Rams -10.
I'll go with that. I don't trust Mariota any more than I trust Baker Mayfield. To answer your question, Aaron, we wrote these things down earlier the week, so some of the lines have changed since then.
Yeah, and look, it's different everywhere you go. It just depends on where. And sometimes, look, if you can get those. So he has Panthers -1. So my bookie, it's -2, right? So where you go, obviously, it makes a difference too on what site has those odds. So that's my bookie for you. We've got Falcons Rams over 46.5. I think you have to.
Yep.
Just with the Rams power offense. Yep. 49ers -8.5. Who are the Niners playing?
Seahawks in California.
Wow, really? Coming off a loss, he's kind of think they cover 8.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you?
I'll take that. The first game of the year, the 49ers played in literally a foot of water. So
true.
I think their offense is better than what they showed on game 1.
Cowboys, I think they're playing the Browns, right?
The Bengals.
Bengals. So he's got Cowboys +7, and so the Cowboys get 7.5. He's taking the Cowboys. I like that pick.
Really? Without Dak, huh?
What do you want?
I'm taking the Bengals. I think Joey B and Jamar Chase are going to have a field day out there. So I'm gonna take the Bengals.
Okay. Texans getting 10. I think that's phenomenal. That's a steal of the day, in my opinion. I could be eating my words here, but steal of the day.
Yeah,
Texans
no, that's a
10.
huge spread for the NFL. I'll take the spread all day. Texans.
Paul Warren, I can't wait to destroy y'all this week. Go Vols. So happy the Cowboys are in chaos. Let's see here. Texans and Broncos over 45. 45 is the line. What do you got, Steve?
I'm gonna go with the. I'll go with the over.
Okay. Cardinals plus getting 5.5. They're playing the Raiders. I like that a lot. I think that's a gimme for the Cards. So I like that 5.5.
I'll stick with it. I like that.
Okay. Cardinals and Raiders under 51.5. I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, 51's high. I'll take the under.
Oh, this one's tough. I don't know if I agree with this one here, but Packers minus 9.5. Giving the Bears 9.5 points, and he's taking the Packers minus 9.5.
I did not like the way the Packers looked in game one, but I do trust Rodgers more than just about any other quarterback in the league. So I'll stick with him.
Okay. You're just taking Packers 9.5 minus 9.5.
Yep.
Okay. Bears Packers over 41.5. Love that. I think that's great.
Yep.
And
over.
then Titans plus 10. Who are they playing?
The Bills. We have 2 Monday night games.
Oof. That's a tough one, but I like it. I like the pick. And then Eagles minus 2. I like that as well.
Are they going to do 2 games on Monday for the rest of the year? Or is it just to kick off the season?
They didn't do 2 last Monday.
I didn't think so. I wonder why they decided to throw another game in on Monday night.
Sometimes we got some love from Papa Stokes here. Says, I love the show, boys. Hard work, #hard work pays off. A little $5 super chat. Thank you, Papa Stokes. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Johnny Gill says, who was the commit? It was what's his name? Chauncey Bowens, 4-star running back for 2024. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and just like that, we have 8 minutes to go before Sunday NFL football kicks off. Hopefully, you guys like our picks. Hopefully, if you bet on them, you use my bookie, and hopefully you guys can get out of there in a W. Look, we're looking for a 60 to 7% success rate. So if you bet on all these games, you're going to come out on top. Last week, you would have came out on top with a 9-7 record. You wouldn't have lost, and you had a little extra cheddar going into week 2. So, look, that 9-7, turns into 10, 11, 12 wins. Now we got some more cheddar we're working with. That bankroll starts to build up, boys and girls.
And it's house money, guys. It's house money. They're gonna double your initial deposit. You may as well just take their money.
Absolute steal, my guy. Absolute steal.
Literally.
Literally. All right, boys and girls. Thank you for stopping by as always. We love the support. You guys are incredible. We're gonna get week 4, with Tennessee on Wednesday. We're going to break it down. Tennessee fans are going to be loud and proud. I can already feel it. I can just feel them on my neck, and I am beyond ready and excited for it. So, guys, thank you for stopping by. As always, make sure you like, subscribe. Be here on Wednesday at 8:35. But until then, I am Shelton.
And I'm Holly.
Boogie, boys. See you guys. Mr. Nobe, real quick. He's put this in here. Game manager equals AR-15. I think he can be. I think they have to decide if he wants to be that guy. I think he can be, though.
I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show.